This is the Phoenix Bites Journey, episode 3. And you know what? I am so excited to finally introduce to you, you know what? 1 second. Our hero. Now that we picked out Beef Jerky as our product, our main flagship e-commerce direct-to-consumer product, I want to let you know why we chose it and why it's so close and dear to my heart. It was around 2018, I think, as many of us get into anything health related. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he had, I believe it was Jordan Peterson on. And they were talking about the keto diet and the carnivore diet. And I had heard it before in the Joe Rogan podcast before, but what really motivated it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try it, is when Jordan Peterson was like, yeah, all I eat is meat and with salt and sparkling water. And I knew the benefits of going keto and only eating meat. And I had a shit diet. I felt kind of crappy, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. And sometimes I get into my mind something and I don't let it go, and I get a little obsessive. So I literally from one day to the other went keto. I downloaded some sort of a food app that tracks everything. You scan the barcodes and it tracks everything, the fats, the carbohydrates, and I reduced from one day to the next down to 3% carbohydrates. Yes, it was a shit show. Literally, it was shocking to only eat meat every single day. I went for around 6 to 5 months of just eating meat. Luckily, at that time, we had a butcher shop down the road, literally 2 minutes walking. So every day we would either get some pork chops or some sort of steak. Soon we got into pork chops because they were a lot cheaper, because eating steak every day was getting expensive. And yeah, every single day I was eating at least 2 big pieces of meat, and that's it. Oh, and every morning it got to like 12 pieces of bacon and 4 eggs in the morning, and then 2 pieces of meat later that day, and that's it. And long story short, I was trying to do the keto thing, and if you know about the keto diet, number one thing is fats, healthy fats, and I couldn't hit my healthy fats. And so I was Googling, how do people get their right percentages and right intake of healthy fats, and like fat bombs, making these weird mixtures of coconut oil, peanut butter, just weird stuff just so you can hit your fats. And I was a huge snacker before, so I would literally eat bags of chips every day, and I was just missing something to fill in the snack times. And we bought a consumer dehydrator, and we tried to do a little beef jerky, and it was half successful. And then later those months, my sister's wedding came up, and I was like, well, I gotta eat the food, and I was done. Since then, I have not been back on keto. I've tried, but I don't know what came over me that time, but that's been it. And the hardest part of keto that I found was the snacks, the not being able to, you're out and about, you can just grab something and eat it. And with the restaurant and with everything, the ghost kitchen that we're thinking, the thoughts of healthy foods and healthy snacks started floating about with my mom and I. And I thought the first thing that we have to do is beef jerky, mostly because I want to eat it. And beef jerky is so ancient. I mean, that's basically one of the first things we discovered to how to keep good, you know? The cavemen discovered that, yeah, maybe we don't have to keep eating raw meat. There's fire. Let's try to cook it and break down the protein so we can digest it more. That's basically how our brain developed more than what it was before, and the brain that we have now by cooking meat. I mean, the Native Americans dehydrated meat to keep them good for the winter. It's just, to me, beef jerky is something so in our history and in our DNA, whatever the culture is. The Spanish and the Portuguese, they are renowned for their meat drying and how they salt meats, and it's just a delicacy. Every culture has some sort of dried meat technique. It's just something so basic that I think it's a huge tool for us to have as a snack, as fuel on the go. And I'm just a lover of beef jerky. I'm really passionate about beef jerky and keeping it keto, keeping it what it is. Maybe a little flavor, a little spice, but just keeping it what it really is. So in the quest of us trying to develop healthy products, healthy foods that are still almost like you're eating junk, but you're not, we came to beef jerky. And we all know the benefits of going keto. It's a little extreme for some people, but why not have a beef jerky that doesn't have godly amounts of sugar in it, that if you are keto, you can eat it. If you're not keto and you still want a delicious snack, but with not a ton of sugar and not a bunch of crap in it, you can have that. Keto's not for everybody, and I don't think I'm pushing down keto down your throat. Beef jerky, though, maybe that. Now, straight up, what do we need? Technical, real information. What do we need to get beef jerky, a direct-to-consumer product, out into the market? We need a brand. We need a website. We need a story to tell. We need packaging. We need packaging design. We need quotes for shipping. We need the labeling, all the regulations for that we have to provide, so we're not getting sued and we're actually getting everything done by the book. Now, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves because this is all attached to the ghost kitchen that we've been planning. The ghost kitchen, it's still going forward, but we realize that if we head towards the ghost kitchen, it's going to be a huge sum of investment, either a loan, either an investment from our own savings, or some sort of cash partner, cash investor. We don't want to do that. I think the easiest, and it just hit us in the face, we always thought about e-commerce, because if you are doing a ghost kitchen, which is just delivering food for delivery, you have a small circle that you can only go a certain distance before the food starts getting bad. And so we thought, we are in 2021 right now. We're in the age of the internet. We're not going to forget that e-commerce is a huge opportunity to be global, if not national, if not just by province, the whole province. So we knew that we had to target and support our kitchen with some sort of e-commerce product. We knew that from the start, because we weren't going to just limit ourselves to only branding as a small chunk of, I don't know, an area of 5 kilometers square. So we decided to play the long game with the kitchen, and we're going to start with e-commerce first. Talking about that, our next big problem is, are we going to buy the beef jerky from a producer, or are we going to buy meat and make it ourselves? We went down this road and we contacted a couple of, let's call them manufacturers, meat producers, beef jerky producers, and we got their samples. We tasted them. We started running numbers, and we started getting quotes on what they would have cost if we were just to pay them to create our own recipe. Like, we developed a recipe, what it wanted to taste like, what it would look like, and they would use their facility to create the beef jerky. And we found out really quick a number. And you know what? When you're starting a business, you don't want to just take the first number that you get, right? Because you have nothing to compare it by. And even though in our mind we had, it's so much easier to pay somebody and have it made that already has the experience than us learning something completely new when we're starting a new business. It's easier to go that way. But I was like, no, I'm gonna kick myself in the back if we don't find out what it would cost for us to do everything. So we started looking at machinery. We started looking at buying the pieces of meat, the creating a recipe, making a list of some sort of processes, and we did our research, and we started finding out that the prices that we were quoted for other people to create the beef jerky were so much more expensive than it was just to buy the equipment and start doing it ourselves from the beginning. So that idea went out the window. We said, you know what, we're gonna take charge and we're gonna do it ourselves. So what does that mean? We have to find a farmer, because we don't want to buy it in a random butcher. We want to know who the farmer is that is selling us that meat, what their process is. Just be friends and show you all that. We need to find out all the equipment that we need to make the best beef jerky in town. And huge here in Ontario and anywhere first world, we have to have a certified kitchen where we're making that meat, where we're receiving the meat, cutting it up, cooking it, and packaging it so everything is kosher, everything is packaged correctly, and it's certified. We're looking at kitchens that are gluten-free certified, so we can put on our packages that we have completely gluten-free product. And yeah, welcome to my cupboard under the stairs. This is my little office, and we're about to do something dreaded for most business owners: research. I need to find out and learn more about dehydrators, meat cutters, as well. We need a certified kitchen, so we have to do some research on certified kitchens. We have to do some research on who we're going to buy the meat from, and we have to do some research on packaging. How much meat does each machine can tolerate, and the cost of each machine. That's my second task. My third task is going to be sit down with my mom and make a decision. So we're pretty much done the research, and we have all the information that I feel comfortable sitting down with my mom and making some decisions and get on with this business. Yeah, I think we're ready. So next thing is just sitting down and pulling the trigger on some things. So on to that.